Welcome back, Rooster Boosters. It is Rooster Booster time with the big guy, Scott Ferrara, and we have Rob Irimescu. He's a Rooster 2020. He unfortunately he had a truncated season, which kind of sucks as your inaugural season to the MLR. But thank you, Rob, for coming. Appreciate it. So we're gonna
absolutely, Scott. Thanks for having me.
no problem. We have a little time delay, folks. It's my internet's getting a little wonky. We have thunderstorms in New York all day. But we're gonna get right into it. So I stole a question from a friend of mine. He asked this to Sam Wuching. He said, "If you can take 3 friends with you to Vegas, what 3 friends would you take?"
I love this question. Let's see. So Anthony Perry, right off the bat.
A-Train, my man.
Let's see. Troy Lockyer, because he's a magician.
Yeah, I mean, he'll just fuck with Chris Angel.
Yeah, and then probably Mark O'Keefe, because he's a fun time.
Yeah, nice. So now, now, assuming you're flying from New York to LA and driving into Las Vegas, what whip? What are you driving?
Ooh, what whip? I like that question too. Let's see. We're probably gonna have to rent a car, right? So go big or go home. Probably gonna get a convertible. I don't know,
Nice.
maybe like a convertible Mustang or something.
Nice. Yeah, they got nice V8 power, top down, driving through the desert. That's perfect. The next question is actually from my wife. You went to Penn State. My wife's also a Nittany Lion. So, what's your favorite ice cream flavor at the Creamery?
Yeah, it would definitely have to be Death by Chocolate. I know you mentioned the Peachy Paterno in the past.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, but generally, when I get ice cream, I either like going chocolate or vanilla, and I die for chocolate. So Death by Chocolate, I'm going to get the biggest one, and I'm going to crush it in less than 5 minutes, 100%.
The big guy's wife approves. That is also her favorite flavor, official. She had another question. She wanted to know, what hall were you in freshman year in East Halls?
Oh, I was in Brumbaugh Hall in East Halls.
Nice.
You had to stay in East. East was like the fun dorms, kind of. It was a great time. Loved it. And it was right next to our rugby facilities. So it was about an 8-minute walk to go and work out. So
nice.
You could be there and back within an hour, 15 minutes. It was great.
That's awesome. I got a question. Did you ever go into the agriculture section and like go cow tipping?
No, never. I can honestly say that I've never gone cow tipping, but I did have classes around the agriculture section for sure. And I can assure you that they do wear as much camo as you expect them
to. Oh, man, that's great. So obviously with COVID, everybody knows everything is shut down. Gyms don't open till phase 27. So what have you been doing to stay in shape for the off season?
Yeah, so luckily, this is gonna sound kind of funny, but like 2 or 3 years ago, I'm a big Black Friday guy. I like getting my stuff on discount. I never pay full price for stuff. So, my dad and I we're at Dick's Sporting Goods, and we're looking around, and we see this rack with like 300 pounds of weights and like all this stuff, and it was like 50% off. So we were like, oh my God, like we got to buy it. Let's get it. So we bought it, and we keep it at like our like little tiny cabin that I'm at right now in PA in the basement. Fast forward 2-3 years later, all the gyms are shut down. I have no other option, but thank God that I bought this rack a few years ago. And honestly, it's been like the biggest blessing to be able to finish work and to finish like my day or anything I might be doing throughout the day, and to just go downstairs, like 10-second walk, and have my workout, have as much hydration as I want, my music, everything, and then immediately just be in the comfort of my home has been amazing. So I've been working out like 5-6 times a week, like really getting after it, and it's been great, especially not having pain in my shoulders or my hamstrings, like general wear and tear of a season, especially an MLR season. it's been great to be at full health and just having energy to do those workouts in my basement, in my little dungeon.
That's awesome. I know everybody's been scrambling. I have a good friend of mine at work. Same thing. He's a big gym rat, and he was scrambling to get equipment. And he went to the doing the elastic bands, a lot of elastic band workouts. So I think it's to each their own on what they're looking to do, and just to keep up what they need to do. But for you, having that friggin' weight rack, probably awesome, right? I mean, it's just the greatest thing ever.
It was the best purchase of my life. My gym membership got halted, so I wasn't even paying for a gym membership anymore. It was just meant to be, man. I couldn't be more grateful for it.
Now, you work out solo, or is your dad in the cabin with you?
Yeah, so I'm with both my parents. First year out of college, gotta mooch the parents as much.
Okay, so both parents. What's your mom squatting? That's the question.
What's my mom's squat? Man, props to her. I mean, I'm sure she could do some weight, but I don't know. I don't even want to see her attempt that. It just has bad news written all over it. Same with my dad. Let's stay away from the squat. Maybe my dad might be able to bench a little bit, but with the lower backs these days, I don't know if my 50, 60-year-old parents should be doing that.
That's all. Yeah, I can hear the slip discs from all the way in New York.
Oh my God.
But you played a bunch of meaningful minutes this season. I know you came in, you were set to be a play hook, and you were kind of back in the back row a little bit. What is your preferred position?
Yeah, so I mean, that's a tough question, because at the end of the day, like what the coaches say and what they believe, Greg and Marty are world-class coaches, and even if you believe something, what they say is usually correct. They know rugby in and out, and I do believe I'm a hooker, 100%. That's my body type. That's my height. I definitely wish I could have a couple more inches so I could really do some good work in that back row. But I think developing into a hooker is what will be most beneficial for me, and I think that's where I can excel the most, for sure.
Awesome. It's people don't realize how nuanced hook is. I mean, everybody talks about tight head. I mean, we've heard it all before, but there's something to be said about being in the middle of that, and me being loose and playing tight. And I played flank for a while because, D4, you're all over the place. But we always had the same hooker. And because that position was so nuanced, it helped to build somebody up. So we would always try and build a new guy coming in who didn't know about rugby into a hooker. Because once you get that nuance down, once you get your foot position down, once you can trust that your props are definitely going to hold you up, it kind of releases some of that anxiety, and you can just worry about getting the ball back. So again, truncated season. I think we only had 5 or 6 matches. What do you think was the toughest competition you guys faced out of your season?
Yeah, don't even have to think about the answer to this question. Right away, San Diego Legion. That was the best team I've ever played against. Some of the best individuals I've ever played against. You're looking at the skills part of the game, and in that match on both sides, Rooney and San Diego combined, there were no mistakes made, virtually no mistakes made. You can't. Rooney, yeah. And you're looking at Rooney, and we're dominating the scrum. I've never seen a scrumming performance like that before. And then you're looking at San Diego, and their kicks are so on point. Their offloads are all going to hand. It was definitely unbelievable, and I definitely feel like I got a lot better just playing in that match. Just playing at that level of intensity was unbelievable, and the atmosphere of that game was insane. Having 5,000 fans, or however many there were, that's what it felt like, at least, just screaming the whole time, and it was unbelievable. It was definitely the toughest competition and the greatest atmosphere as well.
Yeah, I mean, San Diego was so strong, obviously undefeated. I mean, you can claim they were the 2020 champs by just being, the record they had. But honestly,
yeah,
you win a championship in the playoffs, as San Diego has figured out twice.
Yeah, regular season means
Yeah.
nothing. Warriors
Yeah.
went 73-9. The Patriots went 16-0, and both
Yeah.
teams didn't win a championship. So
Absolutely.
that's not how it works, unfortunately. But they were a very good team.
Mhm.
Not to take anything away from them.
Oh yeah, and like you said, when they got rolling, now they're in Game 5 playing against a Rooney team. You guys showed up, and I think what iron sharpens iron. You were playing against the competition, and you stepped up to it after a slow first match, and it showed. And you're right, it wasn't a mistake-free match. You never get one of those, but it was limited mistakes. Rooney was powerful in the scrum. San Diego was kind of kicking you guys' butts on the lineouts, and that's really just those little things. If you can find a way to make adjustments to, you can turn that tide a little bit. Again, it was a great match. Always good matches, Rooney San Diego. They always come down to the wire. So that tees up the next question. So, San Diego, if they're on the schedule next season, you might be in a pack against Chris Robshaw. What do you think about that?
Oh, I think that's awesome. I would love an opportunity like that to play against like a player of that caliber. Like, not only would it get me fired up, it would get me in the zone, ready to go, and try to put out my best performance. But I'd also look at it as an opportunity to learn as much as I can from, seasoned vet. He's 34 years old, playing most of his ball on unreal teams his whole life. It would be absolutely unbelievable to do that. And, I would definitely love to step to the plate to that and show what I have as well. So that would definitely be really cool. Definitely pretty sad that I didn't get to play against Ma'anonu.
Yeah.
That would have been unreal.
That would have been cool.
I definitely wanted to see him and Basta get after it. But, I would love to step to the plate against Robshaw. That'd be a fun time.
I could just imagine that collision between Nanu and Basta. It would cause an earthquake on the opposite side of the world or something. I mean,
oh my God, I definitely think it would.
I mean, and you can attest to this. I was telling people about Basta. Everybody's like, "Oh, he's overweight, he's slow." For his body size, he wasn't slow. I got to be quite honest. Especially seeing him live during practices and stuff, he was quick and quick-footed, and he had that like agility that you don't see a lot. And man, he could run people over.
Yeah, I've never seen a man of his size move like that, for sure. And the craziest thing about him was, like, he would not go down on a one-person tackle ever. Like, even if you had him wrapped up, like, he'd still be staying up, and he'll usually offload that too. So, like, that was definitely one of the toughest people to tackle on our team. Like, just in practice, like, being one-on-one with Basta is a hell of a task. And even when you have him wrapped up, the job's not even half over because he's not going down. You got to make a serious collision to bring him down. So yeah, it was awesome playing with him. He's so skilled and so powerful. Like, it was crazy.
I mean, just to have that experience, and then you have a lot of guys on the Rooney team, obviously all the guys who came through season 1, but then you have guys like Mike Brown, who's been in the MLR since the inception, Matt working the same thing. You have guys who are like Dylan and Kyle, who are in pro rugby, the ill-fated pro rugby. So coming to Rooney, did it feel like you had these guys that could show you what it means to be a professional rugby player and make that next level jump?
Yeah, right off the bat, I mean, first player I think of is Butcher, Dylan Fawcett. I feel like this first season I was really just trying to learn the ropes and really just learn everything I can. And he couldn't have been more amazing as a teacher. Like, he never kept anything a secret or anything like that. We played the same position. He's straight up just like, look, like, this is what you got to do. This is how you're going to excel at it. This is how you have to do. Like, I was in the locker room and, I'd be unsure of something. Like, before I'd even go to ask him, he would come to me or any of the players and be like, hey, is anyone unsure of anything? It's okay to ask questions. This is where we get the kinks out. This is where you get the questions out. So learning from him was definitely unbelievable just because he made it so easy. Like, he was the first person to teach you, the first person to be like, all right, Rob, let's go. Like, let's work on our chip kicks. And I'm laughing at him. I'm like, oh yeah, chip kicks. Yeah. Like, we're going to do this. Sure enough, against ATL, he does do a chip kick and Mark O'Keefe scores. And I'm like, wow, I will never doubt anything you ever say again, man. Like,
And it was not a top 5 MLR try, which I still tweeted them about. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Ridiculous. Who's judging
So
this?
yeah, I didn't understand it. I mean, it's gorgeous. But anyway, so here's a question: your favorite sports movie?
Ooh, favorite sports movie. Definitely got to think about that for a second. There's just so many.
It's tough, I know. For me personally, I'm a hockey guy too. Slapshot, up there.
Slapshot, huh?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna miss something if I say it. I mean, right off the bat, like I'm thinking like Friday Night Lights, unreal movie. This is gonna come out in left field, but Gridiron Gang just got me fired up to play all the time. Like the Rock was like just everyone like was so convincing in that. You got Coach Carter like teaching teaching people that sports aren't just sports, like it's actually teaching you things in life and all that. Like that was good. And then you got like Longest Yard, which is just hilarious. But you know what? It's actually really good football. When you have Michael Irvin and Nelly running the ball with Stone Cold Steve Austin at fullback, like
I mean, they had some good football players. Yeah, I mean, Longest Yard had. Stone Cold played football, into college. Oh my God. Kevin Nash was a football player and ex-wrestler. Oh God, I'm missing people. Friggin' Romanowski, Goldberg. He's another one. He played. I think. I don't think he played
Terry
NFL.
Crews at tight end.
Yeah, Terry Crews, another guy who played NFL.
Cheeseburger Eddie.
Yeah, and Romanowski's there. I mean, you had a ton of people that were in it. It was nice to actually see football that looked good, that wasn't as produced, I think. So here's another question about movies. This is an out of left field one. Have you ever seen the movie Puddle Cruiser?
Puddle Cruiser? No, unfortunately, I have not. Do you want to give me a little spiel on it?
So the Broken Lizards guys, the Super Troopers guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Their first movie was called Puddle Cruiser, and it's about a guy who loses his girlfriend to a rugby player, and he joins the rugby team to try and get her back.
How have we not heard about this? We need to, you know what? You need to do an official, the big guy movie recommendation. You need to put it out on the website. You need to be like, guys, this is the movie you need to watch. It's unreal. This is why.
Well, I mean, I feel like out of all the rugby movies you could watch, it's funny. There's rugby in it. It's not kind of stereotypical like Forever Strong and all those other movies. And it kind of gives you the insight of that you might not have because you played Division 1 rugby, but more of what the experience I had playing Division 4, where you just hopefully you have 15 guys to play. Hopefully the Spurs shows up. Hopefully the other team shows up, which was most of how we played.
Oh, also, how can I not mention Invictus? See, I knew.
Invictus. There you go. Yeah, as we all know, Matt Damon winning World Cup.
My favorite part of movies is when they're true stories, and it was a true story. That's unbelievable. Great rugby movie, and they honestly did a really good job on the actual rugby part of it as well. So, love that movie. Definitely up there as well.
Absolutely. No, you're right. Their rugby scenes were really good, and the depictions of the All Blacks and how good they were, and Jonah Lamu, and I think as a non-rugby fan, you understood the build-up to that World Cup match and just how powerful the All Blacks were at that time. That's a great one. Invictus is a good one. So going back to Rooney type stuff, again, first year, what did you do when you had butterflies pregame?
Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely butterflies out there. I definitely have a few little rituals. Like a little prayer just to keep safe. I'm not asking for a lot, but I'm just asking to keep safe. When I'm stepping on the field, with my right foot, setting your best foot forward, your right foot forward. That's really it. I mean, nothing really crazy. I mean, the butterflies are gonna be there, but once that first hit happens, so much adrenaline is pumping through the veins. You forget that you're even nervous, and you're just like, all right, let's go. What's my next job, and who can I hit now?
It's funny because you, Mikey Brown, and Butcher kind of all had the same answer, as far as you're kind of just mentally preparing for that first hit to get that out, and then you're once you're in the game, you're in the game. So I think that's funny coming from the line of hookers,
I agree.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess you're with those guys most of the time, so you prepare like those guys, and you guys are all in the same mindset. And I think that's good because it shows that you're a unit, you're cohesive. There's some synergy there. You're thinking relatively the same things, and that's how you win a team sport is that synergy. So it's nice to hear.
Yeah, I mean, it's also in rugby. I've also learned that there is a lot of thinking in the game, but it's not like you're taking time and thinking about it and then doing something. Everything you're really doing is more muscle memory. So you're not really like taking time out and like, okay, what am I going to do now? What am I going to do now? And that's where like the nerves start coming in. When you're in the game, it's really just muscle memory the whole time. And it's just everything's happening so fast, especially in the MLR when the ball's coming out in 2.5 to 3 seconds in the ruck. Like you don't even have time to you don't even have time to think about something. You set up, and the second you're set, you're already going again. So definitely no time for being nervous. But when they're calling your name and they're saying, "All right, like let's go," like you're about to get into the game. That's a pretty wild time, and that's definitely where you start getting really pumped up. But yeah, no time for nervousness once you're in the game.
So we're gonna stick with this pregame thing here. What's your favorite pregame meal?
Oh, pregame meal. So you mean like the meal, like the last meal before the game?
Yeah, I mean, some people like Butcher doesn't eat. He's on the fasting, so depending on when you guys have a match, he might not eat.
Yeah, I'm pretty similar to Butcher, which is funny that we're so similar in these things. But I can't be eating anything heavy. Like I feel it in my stomach immediately. I think I can't have a big meal within like 4 hours before the game.
Mhm.
Anything in between that 4 hour period, I'm probably eating like snacks, like granola bar or a banana or peanut butter or something like that. You definitely don't want to feel that food during the game. It's not like it's gonna come up or anything, but like it just you feel slower, you feel sluggish. When I'm on the field, I want to feel light. I want to feel quick on my feet. And that definitely helps too. So nothing worse than having that heavy meal like inside your belly while you're playing. So I agree with Butcher. Within 4 hours before the game, I'm eating a teeny tiny snack.
Yeah, no, I think when I played football and I played hockey, I played a lot of sports. I was always the same too. I felt like if I ate a lot beforehand, I couldn't focus on what was happening either on the pitch or on the field or on the ice. So I definitely see that, and that seems to be the pattern with most people. Even guys who answered like, I will eat this for like, I'm eating this 6 hours before the match. It's not like I'm eating it, going into the locker room and I'm having spaghetti and meatballs. So I definitely see that.
And even then, that meal is like grilled chicken with like a tiny bit of like carbs and like a little bit of vegetables. Like it's really nothing impressive either.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you have to in this day and age of high performance athletes, you have to stay on your regiment and stay on your healthy diet. Or some guys are on unhealthy diets. Michael Phelps, he has to eat like 12,000 calories a day when he was doing his Olympic training. That's ridiculous. So he could afford to eat the cheeseburgers and stuff just so he kept up his body mass. But I think that. So actually, this is a good question because this is something we were debating a couple weeks ago before the draft. Do you feel that Penn State and their rugby, the way they run their rugby team, translates to the pro game? Like how? Like, do you think did you guys practice 5 days a week? Was it very regimented? Like how'd it go?
Yeah, we did practice 4 to 5 days a week. I mean, the fifth day, like there's some
like
days
walkthroughs and
or like a film day or like a recovery day. So it was really honestly when we had games, we had 1 day off. So 6 days a week we're playing some sort of rugby or thinking or talking about rugby. Yeah, and even on that day off, we're still having meetings. We're doing that. So, yeah, definitely. Justin Hunley, our head coach, he runs it just like a pro team. He's definitely really great at understanding like guys' school commitments. Like he won't make you feel bad if you got a test or he completely understands. But it's every single day we're doing something rugby. And in a school where there's so many distractions, he's making sure like we're limiting those distractions. So that environment was really good as well. I definitely will say offensively, that translated to the pro game very well as well.
Yeah.
Penn State runs a very quick and getting the ball wide kind of offense. Like numbers 1 through 15 need to all have really good passes and all need to be really in shape. That's what Hunley believes, and it works for us. And I think definitely offensively, it translates to the pro game perfectly. But yeah, I mean, definitely, historically, we always had a tiny bit of trouble defensively. So that's where I'm a little hesitant to answer that because, playing defense in the MLR is like day and night versus college. Like in D1 rugby, the defense is terrible. It is disgusting. No one is even that good besides like the top 5 teams, and like you can run all over people. When you're playing in the ARP for Nyack or Old Blue, or you're playing for Rooney, those guys are on a mission to kill you when they're coming at you. It is completely different, and if you're not ready for that, like it's gonna be a rude awakening for sure. So, but then again, it was also very nice being like, okay, I know the guy to my left, I know the guy to my right is gonna be coming up super hard and is gonna lay a hit. So I felt more comfortable, doing the same. So
Absolutely.
yeah, that was definitely a big difference from the college game. Definitely the defense.
So recently you've been playing a little rugby 20. I see.
Yeah.
So what's your official record now?
My official professional record is 1-1. First game, I lost to the South China Tigers 19-10. We called it 19-5 because the power went out on the recording. But I ended up scoring a try in that final play. Whatever, it doesn't matter. That last game was insane. I was down 17-0 at halftime. Depressed.
Man.
I was like, dude, I'm gonna be the laughing stock of this organization. Like they trusted me with this game, and I'm doing terrible. Sure enough, I get a line out. I end up making it 12-17. I have a line out in the 79th minute on the 5-meter line. Rudy has a great maul. We go to maul it in. We get it out wide. Score 17-17. That final kick just goes in by this much. I end up winning it 19-17. Honestly, one of the craziest sports video games I've ever played in my whole entire life is that second game.
Oh, that's great. We loved watching. It was fun. So do you have another set of games coming up with that?
Not that I know of as of now. There have definitely been murmurs and rumors. I know Matt McCarthy 100% wants to see more of that going. He was so amazing with the whole process, by the way. Like, he really is like what American rugby needs in this country. He's like a high-level commentator that is so passionate about the sport and just like makes everything exhilarating to watch.
Yeah.
Like we were watching a video game, for Christ's sake, and he made it like I felt like I was watching a real game. Like it was crazy. He's been trying to see if we can get a couple more games going, but we'll see what happens.
Well, it's fun to do something rugby related and not actually be playing rugby. It's good to get out there. It's good to see other teams that aren't in the MLR. So it's glad to see that cooperation between everybody. And like you said, Matt McCarthy's a great ambassador for American rugby and rugby in general. And happy birthday, Matt. It was his birthday the other day.
Happy belated, Matt.
And so my last question for you is, how do you think being a professional athlete helps you become a better person?
Oh, there's just so many things. Right off the bat, discipline. In order to be a professional athlete, there's just so many parts of the game that you need to be disciplined. You can never be late. Your diet has to be amazing. You have to keep up with your workouts. You need to watch film. You need to be paying attention, and you need to come prepared and take notes at every single session of the game. The discipline factor is first and foremost. Second of all, like the leadership. Obviously you have our leadership group and we have the captain and vice captain, but at the end of the day, you're playing pro rugby. Every single one of the players on our team is a leader in one way or another. Obviously, some guys are more extroverted than others, but just the leadership aspect of the game is insane. And when you come into a work scenario or any kind of scenario in life, you'll see that in rugby players and especially professional athletes. And then lastly, is the most obvious one, is communication. The whole entire game is based off of communication, and you need zero skills, zero talent to communicate. You literally just need to do it. So, when it translates to off the field, whether, you're giving someone a talk or you're working or this and that, I mean, rugby players are just going to be so much better at communicating with others. So that right there is 3 skills that 100% relate into any aspect of the world that isn't professional rugby.
That's great. And I think you're right. I think those are skills you bring into your work life, into your personal life, whether you're married or you have a partner or your family. And I think that's something you try and instill in your children if you have children, or if you coach, you try and instill that into the young ones. That's great. I loved it. So Rob, thank you so much again. Rooster Boosters. We have Rob Irimescu here with you, and Rob, thank you so much for being on.
Hey, thank you so much, Scott. Really appreciate it. Always love talking to the big guy. Send me the clip to that movie. I would love to
Definitely.
watch it. And
Definitely.
Hope you have a good night.
Absolutely, man. And Rooster Boosters, we'll catch you next time on Rooster Booster Time. Thanks.